So if you dream big, make a big choice, bigger choice, you have that drive to learn and grow every day. Take that learning and growth and whatever you are developing as a skill, as a competency, as a value creation tool, then you go with the mindset of creating value for others. What I have done differently was I was technical with the technical degree, but then I became a lot more intentional about people, about relationships. I think New York City streets made me more street smart, but there is no limitation overall from technology and talent point of view where you cannot grow. If you are an ambitious small business entrepreneur who wants to grow beyond your boundaries, local boundaries, you can. Just like all big businesses, you have the opportunity.
Hello and welcome everybody. Regan here with Unreasonable Health, and I've got my good friend Sunny Kaila here, and you're going to love our conversation today. He is the founder and CEO of IT by Design, a leading talent solutions provider for managed service providers globally. And he began his IT career in New York and later established IT by Design with his wife and business partner Cam. The company, founded in 2003, has grown into a global enterprise with nearly 500 employees. Is it 700 now? How many employees do you have now? I mean, you're
over 700 now. We are almost getting close to 1,000.
Yes. So, by the time the ink dries on the page, Sunny is already he's written a new bio. So this is irrelevant. So, but yeah, he's helped companies, small and mid-sized companies in technology, healthcare, finance, and more. And he also regularly blogs and hosts a podcast series called Sunny's Silver Linings. And you'll learn very quickly that Sunny is someone who is incredibly positive and just one of the funnest people to be around. But Sunny, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Regan. I truly appreciate you.
Oh, and I appreciate you. And so your journey is fascinating. I mean, you were a farm boy in India, and the dream that was it your parents that had for you is to get to America, and you arrived in the United States without the ability to speak English, with $20 in your pocket. And what was that like?
It was that feeling of entrepreneurial attitude that you leave everything behind and face that uncertainty that you face as an immigrant when you have never gone out of your village region in the closest, like maybe one small city, and you have never gone out of your state, and then all of a sudden you're not only going beyond the borders of your state and the city, but you are taking first time a flight from New Delhi to New Jersey, and you don't know where you're gonna go, where you're gonna stay. You're gonna go just figure it out. And that is, to me, I think now I look back and understand entrepreneurship. I'm like, my entrepreneurship started probably at the farm, but it went to the next level when I left my farm to come here to foreign land. And then every time that challenge gave me a new opportunity to grow. And yeah, so landing here actually in Jersey City, where I'm sitting, and if you don't mind,
please. Yeah, for those of you who are listening to this on the podcast, you'll want to jump on the YouTube video because Sunny is like in the most gorgeous view of Manhattan you could ever imagine. Like that's his office. So this is someone who arrived in America at the age of, were you 18, Sunny, when you arrived here?
Yeah, about 17 and a half.
Yeah, $20 in his pocket, and now he's got a global company, which he's going to talk to you about how he's built that, and he's got an office like just like the most incredible view, one of the most expensive views you could ever imagine in the
Yeah,
country, right there, and it's such an inspiration. So
yeah,
you've always had this, kind of a bigger vision for yourself, and arriving in America was, the first opportunity that you kind of capitalized on. And by the way, your birthday is perfect, July 4th.
yeah.
So Sunny celebrates his birthday the same day we celebrate the birth of the United States. So
Yeah, what a coincidence, right? With the like one thing that I share with people is that this date didn't have any meaning when I was born, and all of a sudden when I migrated here, and then the entire country is celebrating my birthday with so many fireworks actually right here, Hudson River, and my
yeah.
actually wife she hosted in this office, a couple of friends on July 4th this year. And she's like, look, from the Midtown Manhattan Lincoln Tunnel to all the way to Statue of Liberty on the right, we can see it from the office. And we are on the 30th floor in the Goldman Sachs building opposite of World Trade Center. And she's like, you see all those ships that are parked this evening? They are for your birthday. They're going to start fireworks around 9 p.m. So a lot of fireworks here at Hudson River. And that was just the same date didn't mean anything in India, but it means a lot here. And she's like, I'm putting all the fireworks for you. But why I showed this, giving the reference point, this Jersey City where I am today, Regan, this is where I kind of came here. And in my village, it was hard to see electricity. Once in a while, you will see it. But here, when I'm looking at the city skyline, I'm like, oh my God, am I still on Earth? And this did not seem to me real. And I'm like, I'm probably on another planet now. And that's how it felt when I came here. And then another piece, talk about dreaming big and having that then curiosity to always think new and expand, and then putting your diligence, your discipline behind your dream. And when people talk about American dream, I experienced that American dream. I mean, it did take a lot of hard work. I had to pay my dues. But the point is, Statue of Liberty, which I can see from here to the right side, I didn't have $8 to take a ferry to the island, and then another $12. This is 1993. Now it's much more expensive. I didn't have that money to go see Statue of Liberty, go to the island and see it. And my friends, roommates that I came here to Jersey City to stay with them, these guys were people from close to my village, that the only people that I knew. And they took me to the Jersey side of the Liberty Park, and they were like, Sunny, this is Statue of Liberty, the wonder of the world. I was so grateful that I made it out of 1 billion plus people. How lucky I am to see this, this very special structure, the wonder of the world, so close. But that's okay. If I can't go there, I will go there. But just fast forward, having that, the pumping gas for a year, driving then New York City yellow cab, taxi for about 7 years while I was putting myself through college, and then starting my business. And then we started doing these conferences, Regan, that you were there last year, Build It. And we were doing those conferences here in Jersey City, conference center here, Hyatt. And we kind of added one very special experience for our attendees, where we rented the entire Statue of Liberty island in 2022. That's where it was the first probably IT conference, especially in the MSP channel. No conferences no conference happened at Statue of Liberty, and people that came there, they were like, Sunny, I didn't know you can rent the Statue of Liberty Island. It's called the Liberty Island. And I'm like, yeah, so in America, you can rent a lot of things.
Yes.
So not being able to have money to go visit, to being able to rent this entire island, and that is the American spirit, or the freedoms that America gives every single person, no matter where you come from, what you look like, and it's real. I experienced it, and it's when people talk about American dream or dreaming big, and this is the only country that I know on earth, and I have traveled to over 30 plus countries, and my business is in like 5-6 countries, and I don't see any country on this earth where the country welcomes everyone from different walk of life and give that equal opportunity if you are ready for the opportunity. But it does require you to pay your dues. And if you are hardworking, you are a person of value and focused on value creation for others, then this country can give you that opportunity and the outcome and the dream life, the fulfillment that no other country can give you.
And the value that you started offering people, I mean, you just had a knack for fixing computers, even when you were driving yellow cabs, and then you were going to school. If I remember, when you're sharing your story with me, but your big value where you started to see, I can make a big change in people's lives if I can solve their tech problems. So maybe you could talk about that transition there, and then what was the mindset? Because I think a lot of people, they come to the United States, or even people who are born here, and we never fully maximize the opportunities that exist. But what was different about you versus 98% of or 99% of Americans and immigrants?
Yeah. So I do. When I reflect on this, there are 3 things that come to my mind. Number 1 is dreaming big, making a bigger choice, hard choices, difficult choices, not choosing the least resistant path. So dreaming big. And the number 2 is being the lifelong learner, that always continuously developing yourself so that you are a better version of yourself every day. So that hunger to learn and grow, and surrounding yourself with growth people, because that's where majority of your growth comes from. And then the third is being a person who always think value creation for others. So if you dream big, make a big choice, bigger choice, you have that drive to learn and grow every day. And then you take that learning and growth and whatever you are developing as a skill, as a competency, as a value creation tool, then you go with the mindset of creating value for others. So it's that mindset of abundance. It's that mindset of lifelong learning and growth. And it's the mindset of creating value for others. That's the mindset that when I reflect back from gas station to taxi and taxi to tech, knocking door in New York City buildings where I didn't have salespeople, or like I was the tech, just going every single New York City building or in any business park in any part of this country, there are a lot of small businesses. If you can kind of really knock doors, understand what they're looking for in terms of what their friction, what their pain point is, and then see what you have that can help them create value or remove that friction, then you can always, you can do well no matter what field you're in. So that's where I started knocking door, because the skill that I have was, after completing computer engineering while driving taxi, was computer fixing skills, network building skills, building networks, implementing them, and ongoing technical support for them. And this is 2003 when I started. And few customers that I found, like law firms, marketing firms, and New York City buildings, is by just taking my brochure to every single receptionist and asking them one question: what can I do for you in terms of your computers, in your network, your servers? And then really being there, no matter when they call me, being reliable, being always with a lot of value creation mindset. And that's where they started referring me to other people, where, like it was a referable. I was the product because I was the only one who was fixing computers, but I became a referable product.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And then you transitioned and you became, an entrepreneur. And the amazing thing about you and what you guys will learn about Sunny, if you go to his Build IT event, by the way, it's coming up next month. So for those of you who are managed service providers, you definitely want to attend this. And we'll provide a link in the show notes as well. But the thing that I learned is, Sunny has incredible leadership skills. And your first book, The Talentpreneur, I thought was exceptional, because one of the things you've done is you've leveraged your ability to bring teams together and create this whole, like in talentpreneurship, it's like there's a strategy that you've cultivated for self-managing companies that are also profitable. But how did you go from Sunny being the product to now you're kind of adding value through teams and through other sorts of operations?
Yeah, no, thank you for that question. So I think the one thing that when I reflect on my entrepreneurial journey, majority of the technical people, when I say technical, like not only IT, but also finance, to some fields where people are very technical. They focus more on technology or their trade side of things, where their mindset is very technical mindset, but they do forget that we are all, at the end of the day, are in people business. And people don't take time to develop people's skills, relationship building skills. What I have done differently was I was technical with the technical degree, but then I became a lot more intentional about people, about relationships. And I think New York City streets made me more street smart, because when I have to take passengers 7 days a week, 12 hours at night, and you meet a lot of different people throughout your night shift, people in the evening, you pick from Wall Street right there, take them to Upper East, Upper West, close to Central Park, because that's where majority of the people live, people that work here. And you have like very intellectual conversations as a taxi driver, and that kind of helped me get different perspectives from these Wall Street professionals. And then around 10, 11, you start seeing different audience, because people coming out of bars and clubs, they have their conversations are very different, and you have to adapt to yourself. You have to adapt to yourself, and then you have to adapt to yourself to New York City. People know in detail, like every few blocks, there's a different country. You go to 32nd Street is a little South Korea. And you go to 6th Street is a little India. You go to Mulberry Street is a little Italy. You go to Canal Street is a little China. Like every few blocks, there is a different country. And every borough is a country in itself. Like you go to Bronx, it's a country in itself. Manhattan is different. Bronx, Brooklyn, Staten Island is totally different. And so you develop those skills, like where you are able to have meaningful conversations with people from different backgrounds. And that made me street smart and helped me develop the EQ side of things, helping me develop the people side of things. I think that's what I did differently as an entrepreneur, rather than just focusing on what's the next automation script or next cloud technology that I need to get certified in. I started certifying myself in more of talent. Like at Strategic Coach, we talk about who's. So I became like a who finder and who keeping expert. And that's where I think the whole game changed, where a lot of other IT solution providers, we call them IT MSPs, they were growing in New York City, my competitors. But when 2007, a lot of Wall Street companies, they were looking for 24/7 monitoring, managing of their mission critical systems. And at Wall Street, if systems go down even for a fraction of a second, they lose millions of dollars, Regan. So I had to come up with something which is quality delivery, but 24/7. So that's where I'm like, okay, I can be that bridge between US and having, I tried hiring people for nighttime and weekends, and I couldn't find technical professionals where they were willing to work at nighttime, night shift, weekend shift. But clients, Wall Street customers, were looking for 24/7 coverage. So then I'm like, I'm built very uniquely. I have a very different life experience. I was born in India. I was raised here as a corporate professional. And if there is one person who have this superpower to build something which is 24/7 in the entire IT MSP channel, that's me. So I went to India, hired a few people to build a 24/7 service delivery capability. And then a lot of my peers in my peer groups, other CEOs of IT companies, kind of my competitors, they asked me to borrow my capability, which is 24/7. So I'm like, it was one competitor, second, third. As a go-giver, I started helping them from my peer groups, people from different cities that were IT MSPs. And then that became like a new idea that, okay, hey, rather than just selling to 2-3 miles radius here in Manhattan IT services, I can sell IT services to the entire world, entire US to start with, where I can take my business beyond Manhattan borders through other IT MSPs. So other competitors, IT MSP competitors in other cities, they became my collaborators because I built something very unique as a capability, which they couldn't even imagine building it on their own because they didn't have that outside of the US comfort to go and set up something. And that's where they started using my capability. Now my competitors became my collaborators. Now we have 400 IT MSPs throughout the US from almost every state.
Wow.
Where they're using our 24/7 delivery capability. And what that made us do as a business is we stopped selling direct to small businesses as their IT. We only sell IT through other IT companies, so they kind of white label our products and take it to the market. And it's good for them that they're leveraging our unique capability. It's good for us that we don't need to have office in every state. They are our collaborators, combining their on-site capability with our remote support capability, and together we are delivering something unique to the marketplace. And now we have 400 plus IT MSP customers, Regan, and we do this wonderful event called Build It, which is every year annual conference for IT MSPs. So yeah, that's the journey.
Man, what a journey. And the interesting thing that you did too, that most people probably, if you missed it, I would consider it, but not only did you come from India, but when you're driving cabs in New York, you're like, here's little Italy, here's little China, here's Korea. I mean, so you were able to get immersed in all the different cultures, and you understood business people, and then you understood like the recreational side of the city, and you just like, so it created all this multi-dimensionality in you, and you understood humans as far as who they are, probably better than any therapist could. I mean, that's just phenomenal. And And let's talk a little bit about your global outreach, because the first thing you said that you did different that other people don't do in the United States is you said dream bigger. And a lot of us, we think that puts more constraints. It can create anxiety, but I think for you, it actually creates a lot of energy the bigger you dream. And so you're just expanding into India and the Philippines in brand new ways. But maybe you could talk about that, and then I want to also touch on your new book that you have coming out.
Yeah, no, definitely. So I think there's so much value in dreaming beyond your barriers, like your thinking barriers, because we we all sometimes create our own thinking barriers,
Yeah.
and like if we can extend that thinking a little bit in a way that adding other dimensions like if you are an entrepreneur who is ambitious to grow and grow your impact, and you are not choosing to be a local lifestyle business, I mean, that's okay. If that's who you are as an entrepreneur, and if that's what gives you satisfaction and happiness and the fulfillment, then go for it. But if you are an entrepreneur like me, who thinks abundance, who thinks that there is no limitation for you to grow your impact, then it basically starts with thinking big in a way that thinking beyond your block. Like I'm close to Manhattan, so I will start with block. Thinking beyond your block, and then thinking beyond your city boundaries, and then state boundaries, and then country boundaries. And any entrepreneur where they have made a huge impact in this world, that's what they thought. It could be Apple.
Yeah.
Steve Jobs, he didn't limit his impact to the local Silicon Valley. You look at Starbucks, the Starbucks founder, and then the idea was from the Italy visit to have a world-class cafe in Seattle on Pike Place, from the coffee beans to having a cafe, but then extending that thinking beyond that Pike Place to the city border, breaking that barrier, then the Washington state barrier, then the country barrier. Now billions and billions of dollars are being generated from other countries. And I was in Philippines last week, India and Philippines. In the Philippines, Regan, there are 447 stores, Starbucks stores. Wow. And I was kind of coming across more Starbucks in every single block there in Manila than probably even New Jersey here. And close to $1 billion is being generated annually. And in India, when I was there, again, every other block in New Delhi, and then two cities that I went to, there was Starbucks everywhere, from the airport to the train stations to the blocks. I could, there are, I think, over 300 stores, and they are opening up another 400 or 500 stores in the next 2 years, because the market is big, consumer base is big. So the example that I'm sharing is that every entrepreneur, if you are ambitious, you are intentional about growing your business beyond your borders. I call it borderless business.
Yeah.
What do you need at the end of the day to grow your business as a borderless business, a self-scaling borderless business, is talent, a team.
Yeah.
So being able to build a team, and then being able to build a global winning team, because for Starbucks, to Apple, to Google, to any business which is a US business, or probably even from other countries, where they are borderless businesses today, they had to go to other countries and build teams for the local execution. So being able to learn that skill, how you build borderless teams, how you build winning global teams, is the number one thing that entrepreneurs with that thinking will have to learn. So my new book is called The Secret to Building Winning Global Teams: How to Exponentially Grow Your Business, your EBITDA, your valuation, because with that global capability comes a lot of efficiencies, in terms of what skills and competencies you can source from what place, where it's so unique to that place, and then build some capabilities where you cannot build those unless you get very diverse talent pool and the cost effectiveness. And that's what I talk about in the book, that as an entrepreneur, how you can build a borderless business by building global winning teams where your business grows beyond that glass ceiling that you probably have because of not having a strategy, a plan to build a global winning team.
Yeah. Well, and it goes in perfectly with your talentpreneurship, because in that book you talk about building culture and really, kind of harnessing the power of your vision in a company setting. And then the winning global team, the secret to building and winning global teams, your newest book. Now it's like, okay, here's your marketplace. Instead of, having your marketplace be Utah for me, 3 million people, I can extend it to the United States. There's 350 million, or the world through Sunny's thinking, and there's 8 billion people. It's just it's such a radical way of thinking.
Yeah, and start with Canada, another 30, 35 million people.
Yeah.
Then
We've done that. We're in Europe a little bit. And then, you're like, hey, you got to get to India, Regan. And I actually had a doctor in Philippines that he has 21 hospitals that he owns. And he wants to bring in peptides and stem cells and compound the peptides in the hospitals. And then you have a stem cell harvesting place from umbilical cords right there in the hospital. So I was like, let's do it. So it's so cool how these opportunities just come if you're open to it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think there's more and more awareness for people to live a healthy life. Yeah. And more and more opportunities are everywhere. So who could think just about 30 years ago that people can buy Starbucks expensive coffee in India or Philippines or a lot of countries? But now there is a huge marketplace, there is a huge consumer base, and from Starbucks to like McDonald's. McDonald's probably is another example that you can travel on any road in India without finding a McDonald's. Like every single state, wow, every single major road will have McDonald's after every few miles.
It's crazy. Yeah, and so you think about that, and it's like, well, that was a vision that Ray Kroc or whoever it was in McDonald's had, or Howard Schultz with Starbucks. Sonny, you've got the vision, and the great thing you're doing is you're putting the tech infrastructure, and so the more solid the tech is, the easier it is for other entrepreneurs to go in and do business with those countries, and then as new businesses come in, then it benefits everybody. The Philippines, even though you'd say, like, how do they afford spending a ridiculous amount on coffee when they could make their own cup for 25 cents, but they go buy a $5 Starbucks or $10 now. But it actually lends itself to feeding the economy and creates new opportunities for everybody. It's fascinating.
Yeah, and then one thing that happened in the last at least 2 decades, Regan, is that because of the social media, exposure for every brand is global. Yeah. And whatever word that you want to use, if globalization is not your word, you can choose something else. But at the end of the day, people are a lot more aware of what's happening in other countries. And by seeing that, people want that. And from Hollywood's influence almost everywhere in the world, people see Starbucks to other brands in the movies, from Apple's iPhone, and there is so much kind of overall demand out there. And it's not only one way, I think it's two way. And I was researching borderless businesses in India and Philippines, and there's a brand in the Philippines called Jollibee. And the way like Burger King and KFC and McDonald's and Google and Accenture, professional and retail businesses, they expanded to Philippines, Starbucks. Jollibee, that entrepreneur started the local, it's more like a kind of, you can call it a Burger King, KFC type of business.
Okay.
They started in Philippines, and now they have a lot of locations here in the US. So that entrepreneur expanded beyond Philippines borders and all the way to here. So I think the opportunity is for everyone, no matter where you are as an entrepreneur, especially post COVID now, everything has accelerated in terms of remote access, digital transformation for every business. And that creates more opportunity for every entrepreneur, because for global teams, for example, everyone tested global teams, remote work, and still majority of the businesses are either remote or hybrid. Very few are still in person. That's the biggest friction here in Manhattan, with so many buildings right next to me, they are empty still.
Oh, yes.
Businesses are trying to push people to bring them back to the office, but they're having a hard time. But the point is, every single business is experiencing remote work, right? So if you have remote workers, if you have experience with managing a remote workforce, you have already the experience and the tools deployed in your business to add remote workers from anywhere.
Wow.
And you can create a global capability which can follow the sun and deliver to all customers wherever is the sun. And that is like really kind of, like every entrepreneur is a lot more experienced now in terms of building a team that can deliver anywhere, anytime. And it's just more of thinking beyond our own thinking limits to think, okay, what are the new possibilities in this new world that is specially created post-COVID, and the whole virtual and the digital exposure that every consumer in the world is getting. And there is a need for peptides everywhere. There is a need for IT services everywhere. There is a need for Burger King and everywhere. There is a need for KFC everywhere. And we have the social proof with these businesses, and now it's not limited to just big businesses. It is open now, open opportunity and landscape for big businesses as well, or small businesses as well. So unless you are an entrepreneur of a small business where you are intentional about just having the lifestyle and local block, but there is no limitation overall from technology and talent point of view, where you cannot grow. If you are an ambitious small business entrepreneur who wants to grow beyond your boundaries, local boundaries, you can. Just like all big businesses, you have the opportunity, and you're empowered with the new world, in a new world, to expand beyond your borders and make your business a borderless business.
Man, well, how powerful! And I think that's a great kind of vision that you just casted. I mean, you shared with me, if you can manage somebody, if you already have skills at managing a team virtually, and I mean, there's very few businesses that don't. Like, well, I'm like, hey, wait, I have the skill. Then it's like, oh yeah, you can go anywhere. It's like. That just it was like you just slapped me in the face and said, "Wake up, Regan! There's more people who need your help." So, how inspiring! Like you're just amazing, Sunny. And what is it that just keeps you going every day and helps you keep expanding your vision?
Yeah. So just one thing, just one thing that I want to add to your thought there is, like you, Regan, if you have team members joining from different places. Zoom connection or Teams connection, which is majority of the people and businesses are using, Zoom connection or Teams connection will take the same time for someone in Philippines or India or somewhere else to log in and join and be with you to have that daily huddle or weekly meeting, because the time it takes for someone to connect from here versus anywhere else in the world is the same. It's amazing. Like the flight time is the same for everyone.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
as Dan says, it's a transportation device, and it's just like it brings us together really quickly. It's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, and we
Wow.
can benefit from different thinking by having team members with different experiences and where they bring that like a unique perspective, which makes overall perspective a lot more complete. But to your question of what keeps, like what 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 drives me now or helps me keep going is I think it's just that abundance mindset and then having energy come from value creation.
Mm,
That if I can keep doing what I'm doing, control my action. When I say control my action, means I stay disciplined to just focus more on my action with the same mindset of dreaming big, always learning and growing to grow my capabilities, and always thinking value creation for more, then my impact is keep growing. And from the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, all human beings, at the end of the day, they they are hungry for fulfillment.
yeah.
And for me, I feel fulfilled with value creation. I feel fulfilled with more impact. So my
Mm,
life purpose is to impact 1 million plus people in my lifetime in a positive way, minimum. And the only way for me to do that is extend my thinking, add more dimensions, and looking at the world as my marketplace. My total addressable market is not limited to Manhattan, is beyond Manhattan the way it's been growing. So I want to keep growing my impact, positive impact on a lot more lives that I touch by creating value for them. It could be my team members, my employees, it could be my customers, it could be my collaborators. So at the end of the day, collaborators, clients, and employees, they're all human beings. So every person that I touch in with those three pillars of my life, I am adding that human being to my life purpose. So that's what keeps me going.
that's beautiful. Well, that I think that's just a really a great place to kind of close up, and I really appreciate you taking the time to connect with us today. And your impact of 1 million people. I think you may want to put another zero on. Like, let's talk to Chad Jenkins. I think he could. He's got this
Adding,
book like just add a zero because you're already past 1 million. I can almost guarantee you. But yeah, thanks for being such an inspiring human and a great friend, great collaborator. I'm looking forward to Build IT next month and I hope to create value for your group as well. But what's the best way that people can reach out to you? And we'll provide show note links for purchasing Sunny's books, The Talentpreneurship and The Secret to Building Winning Global Teams for you guys. But is LinkedIn the best way or what's?
yeah. So one place where everyone can go is sunnyspeaks.net. Not .com, sunnyspeaks.net. Easy, sunnyspeaks.net. And all the, other roads to my LinkedIn, to my company's website, so that's the best way for you to connect with me, follow me. And so sunnyspeaks.net. And one thing that Regan, I do want to appreciate and share with the viewers is like you are a great collaborator for me because the way I feel, the way my energies are, it gives me that lot more energy, the power to make a bigger impact because you got to be able to get up and go
Yeah.
to make an impact. And without your preventative healthcare approach, without you supporting me to think health in a very different way, I cannot expand my impact in a way that I'm expanding right now. So I have a lot of gratitude for you, lot of appreciation for you, because the way I feel mentally, my cognitive functions, my cognitive ability, the clarity, and the way I feel fit right now after working with you, from peptides to all the labs that you run for me and everything else, like understanding what's going on with my health and how to best support me. And I am 100% convinced that if I keep doing what I'm doing with you, that my fitness level, the mental, spiritual, physical is gonna stay this way, and I will be able to touch a lot more lives and create value for them, just because being healthy, it empowers me to do that. So I have a lot of gratitude for you, my friend.
Oh, it's an honor to be able to work with you and help you in your health journey, and I really appreciate that, Sunny. And thanks again for being on and for all that you do.
Yeah, and I look forward to you being at Build It in September in Orlando.
Yes.
The whole day is focused on entrepreneurs' health. And I know when you came last year, and a lot of my MSP entrepreneur friends, they thanked me for a new addition to our conference, which is rare to find in technology conferences, especially in the MSP. I don't see anyone doing it because I'm very active and I know all the conferences. So you being there next month is going to be a lot of value for our partners, because when I talk about the value creation, it's not only like what I can do, but what my collaborators are doing to expand that impact, that who focus. So you being my health who, to help my customers, my other MSP peers that are coming to the conference, because the real success is when you as an entrepreneur are successful with your business and your well-being. That's when it's more like, you feel good about your overall success. Then it's a holistic approach to your success, your impact. And you being there will make that impact on a lot of entrepreneurs and their life. So I'm excited about having you there, experiencing your peptides party, your ageless future. That's going to create a lot of value for our ITBD Build It community.
Cool. Can't wait. Well, I will see you there in Florida very soon. And for everybody who loved this show, make sure you share it with your friends, family, loved ones, and we'll see you next time.
Yes.
Bye, Sunny. Thanks.